Welcome to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. Got a lot to get into, and we're going to do it today. It's going to be a fun one because not only do we have first buddy Matt Marsden, BlazeTV contributor, and of course, actor and producer extraordinaire. But we also have, I haven't seen this guy in a while, Charlie LeDuff. He is, of course, the host of the No BS Newshour, columnist at, it's hidden. Yeah, there it is. Columnist in Michigan enjoyer. And the last time I saw Charlie, we were in Michigan. We were in Detroit. Yeah. Talking about voter fraud.
Mm-hmm. Everything I told you checked out.
Yeah, but I haven't talked to you since the election. How are you feeling these days?
Feeling good, looking good. You
look great. You do. I'm glad that you do know that you look great.
Thank you. I don't wake up as pissed off anymore because it was like a year ago. Everything was so terrible.
Mm-hmm.
You get the jobs report, and these jobs reports are lies, and you get the crime report. And, I'm a reporter.
Sure.
And you're watching TV. And these are talking heads, and it's like, no, that's not correct. The stock market is not the economy.
Right.
And, okay, so the border's contained now, and we're doing something about wages and jobs, and I don't wake up as mad anymore. And you tend to look better when you're not mad.
Yeah. No, I mean, I said the same thing, too, is like, it felt really dark there for like the last year of that presidency. It just felt really dark. Like there was a fog hanging over us. And it was like November, as soon as the election was called, it felt like that fog was instantly lifted for me. Everywhere I walked around, people seemed happier. There was something about the air that was not as thick. It felt different immediately. I don't know if you felt it. I know, because we talked about it.
Yeah. I mean, I think as well, there's certain professions I think probably felt it more than others, especially if you're a journalist and you know that everyone around you is lying. It's like me being an actor.
Yeah.
I look around like everyone's full of shit in Hollywood. And so there is some vindication when things turn around and you're like, actually, there might be a new tomorrow now. It's coming. And then you have the first 100 days of Trump, who's just killing it. And he's making decisions every day, like changing things around. And you're like, actually, we have hope now.
Have you worn a MAGA hat yet?
It's made out of tin. Yeah.
Like, I'm going to get you in a MAGA hat.
I have a MAGA hat, and I have a Hope poster.
Yeah.
The political memorabilia in my era for my daughter.
Yep.
But I'm a Michigan guy. I'm a Detroit guy. Yeah. And so I don't know what that makes you. All I know is I never moved. And so the Republicans, the country club set, took some of our wants, needs, and ideas. The left who drifted over there, let them go, want to come back. And they're spending $20 million to hang out with guys now. And all I want, all I want is a future for my daughter, a fair wage, a coherent United States with all kinds of people where you have your culture and you contribute, and then we have an overriding culture. That's all. That's all I ever wanted.
Yeah.
Home ownership.
Right.
Maybe a car.
Yeah.
Don't ask for too much.
I know. That's what my mother said.
So one of the issues that obviously has been at the forefront of the presidency is not just closing the border, which
you're not even reading this. You're just coming right out of your head. This is amazing. So smart.
Is not just closing the border, which is what you were talking about, but also the deportations, right? Because you don't just have to just prevent the people from coming in. You got to get the people that weren't supposed to be here in the first place out of here, specifically the ones who came in under the Biden regime. And you had federal agents with these coordinated raids that just happened. It was two Mexican restaurants that had happened in Minneapolis and Bloomington over in Minnesota. And I want to throw up that AP headline, Stephen. Yeah, there it is. Federal officers in tactical gear went into a Latino community in Minneapolis. A protest followed. And it says from the AP, dozens of protesters converged in the heart of the Latino community in Minneapolis on Tuesday after a large force of federal and local authorities wearing tactical gear conducted what they called a law enforcement action. What they called a law enforcement action. Who knows what it could have been? They could have been just kidnapping American citizens. That's probably what it was.
Can you swear on this show?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
What the is that? The word is that, we're looking for money launderers, drugs, maybe people trafficking, law enforcement action. Come on. Like, the deportations are not going fast enough for my life. Where I live, what I wrote, first public case of a guy on the terror watch list, knowingly flagged, given tickets to come to Dearborn, Michigan. Now I find out Hezbollah ties, Maduro ties. Like, he's up, like, maybe a financier of all this. And he's living down the block from the Kentucky Fried Chicken, and we can't get him out. He's been ordered deported. But on humanitarian grounds, you don't want to separate the family that he also brought. A terrorist. I don't know what idiot out there thinks this guy should be sitting here. And if you do, we got a problem with each other.
That's nuts. Well, it's like the people who, they're crying about, Stephen, now that we're talking about this, throw up the USA Today article on the Boulder, Colorado terrorist family, because that's what the left is crying about, this terrorist that just committed, was throwing Molotov cocktails into this pro-Israel peaceful protest, which, by the way, I'm America first, so like I don't necessarily want us to be talking about Israel all the time. I think we've got enough problems here, but I also don't think that peaceful protesters in America should run the risk of getting Molotov cocktails thrown at them because they're peacefully, like representing their First Amendment rights. So this USA Today piece, Habiba Soliman, this is the terrorist's daughter, wanted to be a doctor. Then her father firebombed Jewish marchers in Boulder. And the whole thing now is
people burned.
The family was arrested by immigration officials and they face deportation now. Like, yeah, that's how it works. Yes, correct. I don't feel bad for her. I don't.
What's the family doing here? Does anybody, he came over on a tourist visa.
Yes,
What's
correct.
your family doing here?
Exactly.
And you were, and
it doesn't say in the article at all.
And you overstayed your visa.
By 2 years, though.
And so you went in and asked for work papers. And, it used to be, hey, American citizen, I need an expedited passport. I have to go over. You're going to need this. You're going to need that. Come back. I'm like, what? Okay, so the dude just jumped his tourist visa for 2 years, and you gave him work papers. You're supposed to be, I once went to Britain, came over from Belgium, Antwerp, and I landed, and the British customs officials look at me, and something smells like weed in there. I'm like, there's no weed in there. I just want to visit, get a plane, and go back to New York, right? It kept me 24 hours, strip searched me, cavity searched me twice. The guy says, nah, I think you're going to work. Go back. I never filed a complaint. Can you imagine that now?
Wow.
Oh, well, listen, I got stopped going back into England with my then girlfriend that was going to be my wife.
They thought that your accent was fake.
Yeah. That's an inside joke that someone in a review of a movie said to me, Matthew Marsden's British accent is terrible. They said it, which is hilarious. But here's the thing, I was saying this, he overstayed his visa by 2 years. Hang on a minute, his family were here. So how did his family get here if he overstayed his tourist visa by 2 years? Because his kids,
nobody's saying.
Nobody's asking this question that I've seen.
Well, we're asking the question, but nobody's reporting on it. I mean, you have the details in this USA Today article. It says something like, she moved to the United States with the dream of studying medicine. It's like, well, she moved here. Did we know that she was moving here? Because last I checked, they were here on a tourist visa, or he was. I don't even know the status of this. And then
here, the USA Today.
Yeah.
Oh, knock knock.
Who's there?
USA Today.
USA Today who?
Exactly. It's over, man. It's over. They got like less than 100. They don't have 100,000 subscriptions.
I was going to say, I think that you've just doubled the readership of that article by doing that. But here's the other thing.
Fix that in post.
Exactly. The other headline that you had there, where they were talking about the law enforcement action, did you notice, and this is really important for people to understand, they say they went into a Latino community. This is America. It's an American community they went into. I hate all this, like, we're going to go into a Latino or into a black community or this, that. No, this is America. Those are American federal law enforcement agents. They should go wherever they want. Stop separating people. If it's a Latino community, why? Why are they ghettoized?
But
in
if
their
they have a
communities?
taqueria, then it probably is a Latino community.
Well, dirty little secret is most of ICE, Border Patrol, are Latinos.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then it makes it very difficult for them to cry racism because it's like, well, no, they're just.
They didn't teach that in feminist history.
No, and by the way, there's nobody that's more pissed off about the border crossings than American Latinos who work on the Border Patrol. You ask them about it, it pisses them off no end.
Right.
Because they're like, hang on a second, because when they take their gear off, they're walking around, they're like, hang on a second, don't be like talking to me like I'm like them. They don't like it at all because they've done it, the legal way.
Well, it's not only that, it's also, you go to El Paso and there are a lot of Latinos and Hispanics there, and they were really pissed off last administration when all of their communities were just totally ravaged by all of these illegals that were coming across the border. They were ruining their farmland. They were killing their animals. I mean, they were wreaking havoc in their cities. These are little cities that don't have the budget for all of the emergency calls that there was an influx of. Everything that happened, they were really pissed about it. And they happen to be, they happen to have brown skin.
The pressure's always existed in this country because it's the most unique experiment in the history of humankind. When the New York Times was digitizing what they called the morgue, right? The clips, the old newspapers, they were throwing them away. Like, okay, we digitized, we throw it away. And I kept one. It used to be just one section. It was maybe page A 1823, something like that. And the headline was 1928, Italian kills man. I'm like, oh, must tell you a lot about New York 1928. So we're in an era like that. But this bum rush, we don't know who everybody else you were allowed in. Your paperwork, you're getting off the boat or you got off the plane. Right. It's not like that now. And the order needs to be restored. We will let people, and immigrants make the country strong. It injects new culture, new blood, new strength, new energy, new willingness to work, right? So that's not the issue. It's who's lighting people on fire. We keep talking about 10 million, 15 million let in. We didn't talk about the 2 million plus that skipped out on their visas. And here's a little data for you. Under Biden, tourist visas themselves increased 30%.
Wow.
Some places 50%. All-time record. They're giving tourist visas from places like Tajikistan. Hey, I just want to go see a Broadway show, get a $500 a night room, and piss off back to Tajikistan. I'm like,
I just want to see Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse.
Mickey good.
Mickey good.
Yeah, I'm sure they just wanted to come sightsee, and then they're just going to be on their way. They're very trustworthy. It's
to be
fine.
fair, I would do it too. I would do it too. I've crossed the border twice. Once with the Sinaloa cartel in 2000, and once with a guy named Elvis from Managua, who couldn't swim, and he was like 5'2", and he's going across the Rio. And I'm like, keep the camera on him, he's going to die. And I'm going to have to rescue him, and then I'm going to get busted for aiding and abetting. I don't know what to do.
It just shows you the American culture, how it gets everywhere. There's a guy called Elvis. It's like,
I know. I thought.
Well, technically, it was Elvis.
Oh.
One of my favorite things is when I talk to someone, typically in customer service, and they're
They got you doing everything here.
Well, something's broken and I have to call, and they've got a very, very thick accent that I can hardly understand, and they're like, "My name is Tex," and I'm like, "That's
no, it's not.
Not your name.
No, it's not.
My name is John." I'm like, come on. That's not your name. Let's be honest.
It used to be like the old movies, like they'd be like, "My name is Sylvester," or "My name is Bruce," or "My name is Arnold," right? Because of the movies, they call themselves that, and you'd be like,
"No, it's not.
No, it's not." You can tell me. Okay, it's okay.
It's America. You can do it.
Yeah,
I'm cool with text, but the government better know your name, and you better have a number attached to it, and that's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
Well, and I like what you said earlier about there does need to be an overarching culture that we all agree to.
Yes, there does.
We all need to agree to that because diversity
is wonderful.
It's not a strength when you talk about exactly.
Yeah. Not in an experiment like this.
Yeah.
It's got to be connective tissue.
Right.
Or it disintegrates.
Exactly. Exactly right. Which leads us back to Minneapolis. And what happened in Minneapolis, Stephen, I want you to play the aftermath of law enforcement coming in there. Obviously, it was just a Latino community. I'm sure no illegals there, just Latinos, right? That's all that they said in the article. But let's play some of the aftermath because the residents came in and were very upset, I guess, that ICE is trying to keep their community safe. You gotta love the masks still.
I'll send them to Mexico.
Whoa.
It's legal.
Yeah, I don't know what
they're getting up in his face, trying to prevent them from doing their job safely.
Oh, the man bun. Oh, dude, come on now. So they're just hoping that law enforcement behaves legally. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable. You talk about a thankless job.
Okay, I know a cop. He just told me this. Got a call from one of those guys, suburban rich guys, who has the Black Lives Matter and nobody's illegal and love is love, right? And he calls the cops and he goes, there's a strange black man in the neighborhood. And the cop goes, oh, no, why are you making me do this, dude? You know, during George. Why? Because the cop has to. Yeah. You're fired if you know. So he goes and he talks to the black guy, and the guy says, I'm delivering for Uber. This is my personal car. He goes, okay, sorry about that. You know, I got a call. So the delivery guy's at the next door, and the cop goes up to the Black Lives Matter white guy's house and, yes, he delivers for Uber, and everything's okay. And he goes, I didn't call.
So great. They're always what they accuse you of being, and it's always virtue signaling. They don't want it in their neighborhood. They don't, and they're the ones. Well, I said they're the first ones to make the phone call, aren't they?
Yeah,
you do. That kind of crew, the nice pedicured, you never been around, doesn't seem to realize for decades now on Friday night, we're all hanging together. You know, there's mixed race children, you know, like I'm Native and black and white. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, it's been going on forever. You just weren't part of it.
Yeah.
There's nothing to fear, dude. But so you make up for it by overcompensating with your stupid yard sign.
Right.
And you know what's funny about that, though? I mean, especially if you're looking at churches, if you go to church, you're going to see all different colors in there.
I missed. You got it.
Yeah.
Guilty.
Yeah, well, there you go, right? But anyway, you see, the point is you go there and you're like, okay, I see all these different races, these different colors. And again, they are united in one thing, which is their belief in the way that they should be united in the idea that is the United States of America. But these people have forgotten that because they really don't go out there and mix outside of their bubbles. Yeah. And it's the same. It's normally always like really extreme leftists.
Did you notice how we didn't buy it? Did you notice that? Yeah. Like the sensibility. Okay, the black guy, the brown guy, the white guy, right? Chicks. Like we're not buying it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like that.
Right.
And you're not gonna make me blow this up. Yeah,
right.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
But it took like I don't give a bleep, you know, to get to that point.
You don't have to.
I know. I'm trying to be a better person. Me, Sarah. See, you prod.
A bad influence.
I'm trying. No, but because like anyone, if you are called a racist, it is the worst thing that you can be called. It's a horrible thing.
Not anymore.
But that's where we got to because everyone's like, you know what? You don't like what I have to say. You're calling me a racist.
I'm a racist. I'm a Nazi.
Everybody knows that now. Like you said, everybody knows it. So like everyone's like, I don't care. Call it me. I don't care. Yeah. And that is a fantastic place to be. But the sad thing is it takes away from when they're a real racist, and it takes away from when you really want to highlight the bad things.
Well, that's what if you look back at practically every Democrat activist organization, it always, to me, it's like Black Lives Matter. It's like, okay, there are very real times where there are racist things that occur, and we should be able to examine that and call it out and fix it. But then it gets hijacked by, you know, the people who went and didn't spend a dime on any of the black communities and bought themselves mansions with all of the money that they received from BLM. The Me Too movement. It's like, okay, well, there are very real predators that are in Hollywood and music and all of these things that we probably should take a look at. And what happened? It got hijacked by the same people who then wanted to say, hey, I had sex with that guy last night and I was drunk and now I regret it, so he raped me. I mean, they start out with, I think, good intentions, and then they get hijacked by the crazy radicals, and then you can't take them seriously anymore. And that's really sad because there is a kernel there that I think should be examined and now can't be. So,
I mean,
last word real quick.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what it does. It desensitizes us to those words, and we really shouldn't have been. But now I think that we are at a point where people don't care about those nasty words. And, we're all like, sticks and stones may break my bones, names will never hurt me. But those things are really bad. But I think people will look back in history and see the way that the English language was manipulated throughout this period of time, and it's ended up in a negative way.
Yeah, for sure.
Before we let that move on, there's a kernel there that needs to be examined. There's probably a Major Woody that needs to be examined, or some private parts that should be. Couldn't let it pass.
Yes, not just the kernel. Much
more
more
than that.
much more. We could go on. I won't, though. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be back with more. I want to thank our sponsor this segment, Birch Gold. So those of you who maybe have an IRA or a 401k lying around collecting dust, might I suggest you go talk to my friends over at Birch Gold? We have done business with them, our family. Stephen, how easy was it to deal with Birch Gold?
It was unbelievably easy.
Unbelievably easy. You heard it from him, the husband in there in the control room.
3,400 an ounce now.
Really?
I believe 3,400 an ounce.
I mean, you can't go wrong with gold and silver. It's like, historically, it is stable as all get out. And so in times of uncertainty and times when you just think like, I need to diversify.
Can I get in on your commercial real quick? Gold, for sure. Okay, Bitcoin, you're doing Bitcoin. The power goes out. There's no Bitcoin.
Yep.
Gold is in your hands.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And so Birch Gold can help you. If you want the physical gold, they've got the physical gold. If you want to convert an IRA or 401k into an IRA or 401k in precious metals, they can help you do that too. And it's not going to cost you a penny out of pocket, even though the government tries really hard to penalize you anytime you have your money that you're just trying to like convert into something else. They are like real quick to penalize you. They're not going to be able to here. Text my name, Sarah, S-A-R-A, to 989898. They're going to send you a free no obligation information kit on gold. It's just information. There's no reason not to do it. Educate yourself. You can do that by texting the word Sarah to 989898. So FBI Director Kash Patel announced on X, what was this, earlier today, I think. He said, I can confirm that the FBI arrested a Chinese national within the United States who allegedly smuggled a dangerous biological pathogen into the country. The individual, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, is alleged to have smuggled a dangerous fungus called Fusarium graminearum.
You wouldn't say his name, but you tried to say that.
Go back, I'll do the name. Roll back, I'll do the name.
Okay,
Come on.
okay, yeah, it's here. Look on my screen. Yeah, there it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. There it is.
Jung King Jian.
Yung King Jian.
Yung King Jian. Did I do it? Mm-hmm. Okay, Yung King Jian brought in. Is that real?
Yes, that's. I just ordered chicken and rice. Thank you.
Thank you.
End of the world.
Yung King Jian brought in Fusarium
King
Okay, so pronounce the fungus.
That is Fusarium geminarium.
Geminarium.
Yes, we'll go with geminarium.
Well, whatever it is pretty dangerous. It's an agroterrorism agent, and she brought that into the United States to research it at the University of Michigan.
My alma mater.
She worked.
They caught him at my airport.
No way.
That alma mater is corrupt. Let me tell you a little.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, we're going to go like this. We'll tell you what's going on at these universities and how this applies. The University of Texas, I'm only doing public institutions, okay?
Yep.
We have the greatest in the world.
Yeah.
UT is top notch. Yeah. It is always ranked top 5 public universities in America, which means the world. The Brits have the private universities. So, okay. In Texas, it's 90% of the incoming class are residents of Texas, UCLA, and UC Berkeley, you crazy places. 85 to 87% are from California. Even UVA, Virginia, 67%. The University of Michigan, which is routinely considered the best or second best, has one of the largest endowments.
Right.
It's definitely in the public, but of all, 50%. 50%. That's a state university. Okay, so now these two, Jean and Lou, you're not even students, you're researchers. You don't teach classes. You don't know anybody. You're funded by the National Science Foundation. The Chinese government gives you a stipend. They might also contribute to the university. Nobody's vetted. And you're doing fusarium, fungi that attacks plants so they can't grow, which leads to starvation.
Right.
And he's got articles about biological weaponry in his phone, and nobody's looking. The University of Michigan is corrupt. They had the biggest DEI program in the country. That's why the president just quit, said they were getting in the way. And I want my university back.
Wow.
Well, look, I mean, why aren't they doing a Chinese ban? They talk about the Muslim ban like we are literally in some kind of a cold war with China.
Yeah.
So why aren't we just saying, no, we're not having any Chinese coming in anymore?
Yeah.
I mean, is that too controversial to do?
Sounds to me.
Say it.
That's a thought.
Yeah. No, but I mean, and here's the thing. That's one guy. What about you came over the border? You know that there's all kinds coming over the border. You don't think that if China's going to send someone with a biological weapon, they're not going to send one dude?
Well, I'm going to tell you why they do it. The money. Okay, so if you're an out-of-state student, you pay $50,000 a year. You're an in-state student, you pay $20,000 a year. Business. When you have a $20 million hedge fund, this is supposed to be to educate the people from here. And look, like Joe Biden, the Penn Biden Center, remember that?
Yes.
For international studies. Who funded that? China.
Who was next door to him?
Who?
It was the Chinese. They were right next to him in the building.
But you make a good point about, okay, I've been to China a couple times. Chinese are not my enemy. The geopolitical
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
race is, okay, you listen to TV, they're our enemy. There are polar opposites in the terms of the power for the world. If that's the case, why are we educating them, giving them access to biolabs? I'm from Detroit. Again, I was a Democrat. I've never moved. So when the Chinese cars or the Japanese cars are coming in the 80s and all this, I'm like, why are we teaching Koreans engineering and Germans and the Italians and the Canadians? And because now we have our pants around our ankles. There are very few car jobs. The city fell down. We're broke. We went bankrupt. Why are we doing it?
Yep.
Who does it serve?
Right.
Listen, same with the Aramco. Like back in the day, Texas was the place for oil. They go over and they teach the Saudis, and then the Saudis are like, thank you very much, goodbye. And then that's it. Now you've basically made Saudi Arabia rich from importing their oil. It's a really crazy mentality where we're not looking after our own first, and that's exactly what we should be doing.
Well, and it's not just the students in the universities, which, by the way, Charlie, to your point, I believe I read that it was like 300,000 Chinese nationals a year that we bring in as students to our public universities. Like, that's crazy. That's an insane number.
I would like, just to keep this right? Like, again, I got nothing against anybody from China. Give me a list of everybody.
Right.
Everybody.
Right.
I want to know how many Germans.
Yeah.
I want to know how many Russians.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're public universities. That means you're paying for them. So my money is going to educate what? Chinese nationals, how many, from all of these different countries. And then they're using that education to do what? Benefit me? Benefit this country?
Well, in addition to that, what they're doing is they're indoctrinating Americans as well, because if you got the percentage of professors over there, I think it's like right up there with 95% are liberal. So, just in the interest, like I'm a big believer in what Jordan Peterson says. You know, there needs to be a pull on both sides, so you end up like somewhere in the middle, and we just don't have that. So not only are you bringing students in from countries that we are disagreeing. I mean, look, I know Trump said they're stealing they're stealing international, they're stealing our IP. They're doing all this stuff to us.
They're doing that.
They are.
We're bringing them in, and then we're telling them actually how bad this country is, which was really funny. If you meet them, if you meet a lot of the immigrants come in, they go, actually, this is a fantastic country, really. But and by the way, I have a friend of mine. I did a movie in China. Which was a few years ago. It was before things really heated up. But I had a friend of mine that went over that was asked by the Chinese government to go over there to do a movie. He was shadowed every single place that he went.
Mm-hmm.
Every place there was someone following him. And this is a movie producer.
I think I saw that movie in the adult bookstore.
I was young, I needed the money, okay?
So
Wong Wan Zhan.
it's not just the universities though. We have a very real issue with the Chinese nationals buying up our land, specifically near some of our military intelligence
Military
sites.
bases is crazy.
You're talking about Michigan again.
Well,
Hey, Stu,
Michigan,
can I get
Texas.
Stu, can I get some more gin?
Come grab his cup, Stu. But you've got Katie Hobbs in Arizona who literally just vetoed a bill
Crazy.
that would have banned Chinese nationals, not even just from owning land specifically, but just from owning land near U.S. military installations and other strategic assets.
Okay, back to University of Michigan, okay? So we have Camp Grayling. Camp Grayling is where, military trains. And 5 students, Chinese nationals from the University of Michigan, were flying drones over it, right?
Yep.
And saying, we're just, taking nature photographs for a magazine. They were questioned. Now there's a warrant for their arrest, but they were allowed to graduate and
No
leave.
kidding. Now there's a warrant for that. Oh, I wonder what someone's doing flying a drone. Let me tell you this. I did a documentary on the border with Iran, right? You know this, it's a very famous thing. It's Deripana, where the Ark is meant to be, Noah's Ark, right? And they're like, this is where the Ark is. Guys, it's not the Ark. I've been there, it's not the Ark.
On Ararat?
Yeah, climb Mount Ararat. So we had a drone to fly over to get a top-down view, bird's eye view of that site, the Deripana site. And the guy that was there said to us, if you fly too far that way, they are going to blow your drone out the sky. The Iranians would fire. Even this was on the Turkish side, though. We weren't on the Iranian side. They were like, they won't let you get anywhere close to the border and blow it out, and they'll blow it out the sky. What are we doing? By the way, there's another thing here. There's one of the bases. I can't remember which one it is, but we have the F-22 Raptors in there, which are still the most advanced fighter aircraft in the world, and our pilots have to drive through Chinese-owned land to get to the base. I mean, this is just like mental.
What could possibly go wrong, though, Matt?
Well, here's also at Camp Grayling, where the kids were taking nature pictures, was there's a Chinese battery plant. There's a big, you probably heard of it nationally, called Goshen. And against people's will, the governor, Whitmer, never let Witless off the hook here, grandma killer. She's pushing for this thing. A Chinese-owned giant battery plant with $1 billion of public investment near a military installation. Nobody wants it except some of the car oligarchs and the governor who just listens to whatever was being said to her. But it's a real national issue. It's a problem. Oh, and Governor, I raised the $3,147.80. I'm getting those Freedom of Information Act requests, and we have not forgotten the nursing homes. You're going to answer. Cuomo's answered. You're going to answer. Sorry, go on.
No, I love that.
Awesome.
I love that. Well, so I know we got to go to break here, Stephen, but tell me, what is up with her trying to, she was at that Trump rally in Michigan, and I could tell he knew he was catching her off guard by saying, we got Governor Whitmer here. Come on up and say something. And she's like, oh, shit. I wasn't prepared to be outed.
So great.
What is she doing? She thinks she's going to fake people out by
He
pretending?
pulled the same trick a week ago. Like, we're going to have a one-on-one meeting. And she's in the anteroom, the presidential aide say, he's ready for you, madam. opens the door and it's all the press there. And she takes the folder and puts it over her face.
Oh, yeah, I did see that
so
picture.
funny.
I
Wants to
did
be
see
your
that
president.
picture.
Take my word. This is not
Yeah.
even high school student body president material. Take my word.
Yeah, no, she's awful. She is terrible.
She's not smart, and you're going to find it out.
I can't wait.
Just take my word for it.
Blow her whole life up. She
Oh,
deserves
no.
it.
No violence.
Oh my gosh, that's not what I meant.
I know, but I don't need the email. Oh, there it's blowing up.
All right, we're gonna have to take another quick break. We'll be back with more, but we want to thank our sponsor. This segment, Preborn. So Preborn, Steven, where are we at? Did they give us new numbers yet?
Oh,
No, we're
It's 5:05, I believe.
Well, it was 5:05 before.
It's the last I've heard.
Yeah, at the beginning of the week. So we are like within reach of that 600 ultrasounds with Preborn's network of clinics. Guys, if you haven't heard, let me just tell you what they're doing over there. They're literally saving babies' lives. When a scared mother comes in with an unplanned pregnancy, they're like, I don't know what to do. Preborn is actually going to show them the truth. They're not just going to go be a Planned Parenthood and say, it's just a clump of cells. Don't worry about it. You'll never regret it. Let us take care of that for you. Preborn, all they're doing is they're just like, here's an ultrasound. This is your baby. Here's the heartbeat. This is your baby. And in that moment, the woman is twice as likely to choose life. That's all there is to it.
what's this for? This is like
We're trying to-
get an ultrasound.
Yeah, we are sponsoring ultrasounds because ultrasounds are $28 each. And so we're trying to get to 600.
You're gonna get women ultrasounds.
Yes.
Oh, free ultrasounds.
Yes.
And how many are you trying to get?
600.
How much is an ultrasound?
$28.
So that's like $1,300 you need.
Yeah.
Want me to write you the check?
Yeah, I'd love that.
That right there.
I would love that. I would also love for the audience to match that.
Well, here I'll do right now one ultrasound.
Wow. Look, he's going to do it. One ultrasound is $28.
Okay.
Look at Charlie LeDuff.
Here's
Look at that money. I was actually pulling up.
Do you know
on
what
my-
they do also?
There's
Thank
one
you,
right there.
Charlie.
You got it.
Wow. Okay.
And I've got mine up as well. I'm going to give one right now.
Thank you. So how many of you out there it's $28 and it's the difference between life and death of a baby. Also, Preborn is helping these moms out financially up until the baby is like 2. They're helping them with car seats and baby supplies and things like
It's
that.
just
So-
anybody carrying, it's like you make your. I'm just
Sure. Well-
I know how my family operates. Yours might be different, but it's good health, and I will
Free
support
ultrasounds.
that for sure.
Free ultrasounds.
Free ultrasound.
Yes. Yeah. Preborn.com/Sarah is where you can make your donation. Thank you, Charlie LeDuff. Thank you, Matt Marsden.
Well, he's waiting for his arms to grow because they're too short to reach his pockets. Let me go out to dinner with this
Don't
guy.
call me T-Rex Marsden
T-Rex
for nothing.
Marsden. Preborn.com. Preborn.com/Sarah. We'll be right back.
No, I'm just. What are you wearing, baby? Oh shit!
We're on. Yeah. Oops.
Back to your key.
I'm like, I'm right here. You don't have to call me.
That's what I'm saying. What are you wearing?
Oh,
That thong?
oh my God. I knew it was going to be a wild one with you here. So, KJP,
KJP.
you thought you would never have to hear about former White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre ever again. You thought that nightmare was over. Well, not so, because she's back in the news, and she is now announcing that she's independent. Yes, that's right. Also, she has a book. Okay, and here is some of that. Watch.
Hi, I'm Karine Jean-Pierre, and I am the author of a new book that's coming out this fall called Independent. It's coming out on October 21st, so please do grab it. And the reason I wrote this book, coming out of the White House, serving as White House press secretary was an honor and a privilege. But since I have left, the people that come up to me, strangers that come up to me just across the country as I'm traveling, and sometimes right in my neighborhood, at a grocery store, supermarket, airport, my daughter's school, the number one question they ask me is, Karine, how do we get out of this? How do we protect our democracy?
All right, stop. Nobody asks her that. Nobody's ever asked her that.
I've got a bit of PTSD. Okay.
Nobody has ever asked that woman, Karine,
How do we get out?
how do we get out of
I
this?
want to see more.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Okay, we can play
I
more.
got to see the punchline.
Okay, go. Can we play that, Stephen?
Get out of what?
Okay, how do we get out of this?
Did she say she's an independent? yet?
Charlie is on the edge of his seat,
Fascinating.
Stephen, and we just need to.
We
Please
don't have
say.
answers here.
I've
That's
read 4
what they
books.
ask me. And this is my answer. And what I mean by that is, in an era of misinformation, disinformation, the
You are so
regressiveness
full of
of social
shit. I
policy,
cannot
what we're
believe they
seeing
have the
currently
balls to
right
do
now,
this.
what I have decided to do, and I really have thought long and hard about this, is to follow my own compass. And that's
My
what
own
I've
what?
done.
Publicity?
And that's what this book does. And
I
here's the
love
truth.
that
And
the
here's how I will lay
bookcase
it out to
around
you.
her is empty,
I think we
like
need to
her
stop
brain.
thinking
Yeah, that's right.
in boxes.
That's right.
And think outside
yeah.
of our boxes.
Oh my God. Now look at this
And
thing.
not be
Okay, so a couple
partisan.
things with
Not be so
before we
And the
get
way
into
that I
politics
see
of it.
moving
I've written
forward in
4
this space
books.
that we're
Okay.
in right
All right.
now
They're hard.
is
I was going to
if
ask you, like, how long did it take you to
willing
write? Same as me. You knocked up a book
And you
in
got
2
to
months.
you
didn't
got to
you?
get up at 5 in the morning. Like if you got a job 4 in the morning, get your coffee 5. And you got to work 2 hours. You got to put time in. That book's this thick, and it's coming. It's already printed. It's already printed. It's 500 pages, and you just left. By the way, I had to write this. Do you know that if you kept a diary, that's subpoenable? That can be.
I love
Homer
that.
can come get that.
Yep.
Now to the politics of it. Go ahead.
You're right.
But let's say, I just want to make one point. There are only 5 words per page.
No, it's actually a picture book.
I was going to say, but it's like Independence, a colouring book.
It's actually one of those British spy books where there's no pages in it. And you open it and there's her hairpiece.
I mean, it really is, though. It's really disgusting that you have these, prominent Democrats. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't call them prominent. Maybe that's giving them too much credit. Karine Jean-Pierre, who had what used to be, I thought, a respectable position of White House press secretary, doesn't seem to be anymore with Karine Jean-Pierre and poor man's Peppermint Patty there, Jen Psaki. But you have Karine Jean-Pierre, you have Jake Tapper, you have these Democrats who had no problem covering for what was clear mental decline before the guy even came into office. And they told you, don't believe your lion eyes. He's totally fine. She stood up there and said, I can barely keep up with him. You remember that? She said, I can barely keep up with him most days. He's so full of vigor. That's what they sold us for, 4 years. And now all of a sudden she wants to make money by telling you that she is an independent. It's so disgusting to me.
Well, she's terrible. So the fact that she said that she can't keep up with him is probably true. That's more of an indication of her being so shit. But no, I mean, I just don't understand how Jake Tapper, I think, is slightly different because he didn't work for the administration.
Might as well have.
Well, I mean, yeah, actually, he did work for the administration. But I think that it used to be that it's kind of like when you come out of the special forces, right? A lot of the time you come out of the special forces, you don't write about what you did in the special forces because you want to keep an air of mystery or you have respect for your fellow soldiers. And now this is happening in the White House. They're just cashing in. And by the way, what it does show you is she knows. Back in the day, they wouldn't have said, I'm an independent. She would have said, no, I'm a committed Democrat, and that's what I'm for, because that's what sold books. It ain't selling anymore. To what we were saying before, people aren't buying this bullshit anymore. So she's got to say, hey, listen, I'm an independent to get any kind of sales, because who's going to want to read that book? Even the Democrats know that it was bullshit. And now they've been told, oh, yeah, actually, Joe Biden's in decline. So they're going to go, for whatever you think of them, they're still going to think, hey, listen, you lied to us.
Well, and this is supposed to move people's thoughts my way. I'm not buying it.
Right.
Now, just in the interest of good television, I believe the opposite. This is specifically what a Politico does. You would write a harebrained, this is the strategy book to remain relevant. Jake Tapper, on the other hand, dude, you were supposed to report on this. You were supposed to take a step back. You said everybody's covered this, right? You said you were lied to. Everybody already knows that. But the nuts and bolts of the lie that he continues to tell, which is this. Well, I didn't know they were lying to me, and then it became obvious to everybody after the debate. Do you know a week after the debate, I filed papers with the probate court of the District of Columbia asking for guardianship of Joe Biden.
Of course.
On the grounds of abuse, dementia, the sundowning. So I'm in Detroit as a reporter seeing it.
Yeah.
Now, Jake says after the debate, you didn't report anything after the debate. You didn't put you let the Manchurian candidate, President, weekend at Bernie's, go all the way until he's out of office before you even announce you're doing a book.
It's a lie.
And then you interview 200 people. When did you start interviewing them? After the debate? If you're doing the job as a journalist, and I'm a reporter, you want to know the difference between a journalist and a reporter?
Yeah.
A journalist can type without looking. Or, better said, a reporter drinks in public with the public, and a journalist drinks in private with the public official. And Jake's a journalist.
Yep.
And if you had any inkling, 200 interviews, remember the book's out in May. So the president's gone in January. When did you begin your reporting? And why didn't you share it with us?
Right. Exactly.
So you, Jake.
Yep, exactly. I know people are like, are you going to get the book? I'm like, I'm not giving that man a cent.
Let me say it as a guy that's got a Pulitzer Prize and 2 bestsellers. You, Jake.
And with that, we'll be right back.
Please stop. Please. That would have been great.
Doing it live. What do you lie? But I'm very concerned because Charlie just brought a Sharpie on set.
Gonzo, will you shine my boot?
You want me to sign it?
Oh, look at that.
Gosh, there's so much pressure. Wow, is that Dave Ramsey?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I want to
Are
see.
you a lefty?
Yeah.
I am as well.
Oh my God. I did not know that.
Are you?
You know,
No,
there's-
you're a righty because I
no.
see where your coffee cup
Yeah.
No, there's
These are made in Mexico.
Are they-
How ironic.
they do make some good boots.
They really do.
So you're a lefty, I'm a lefty, Glenn is a lefty, Stu is also, like, there's many hosts in, like, just in this building that are lefties. It's funny.
That's kind of strange.
Isn't it? I know.
It's really not. I mean,
Oh, well, the percentage of left-handed people
Right.
in America is small.
10%, but all the creative types are lefty. That's just how the brain works.
Is it?
Yes.
I mean, I get it must be. When I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, I guess there's something to that.
Henry Ford, left-handed.
Left-handed.
No, I don't know.
I just made that up. Elon Musk, left-handed.
Left-handed.
What do you have cooking lately?
What do I have?
Other than Gretchen Whitmer?
Just journalistically,
Yeah.
I got a lot of stuff going. I think our Attorney General's going to face impeachment. Our Secretary of State papers of impeachment were filed. There's Whitmer. The Democratic mayor of Detroit has decided he's now an independent and he's running for governor. I got a piece out today with video, but they were throwing poison dirt from the demolitions into the ground in the neighborhoods where kids play. You got to answer for that.
Wow.
So, you were saying earlier about if people call you a racist, all you got to know in your heart is if you are, and if you need to project anything to the people, are you trying to help anybody?
Yeah.
And if you are, sticks and stones, like you
in
said.
an authentic way,
Right.
people can sniff out authenticity, and I think we've had like 4 years of complete bullshit. So
Yeah.
they can see through
Dude,
it.
it's been 30 years of complete bullshit.